I don't know. Welcome everyone to another video. Of course, not only did we want to release our Linux distribution, but also there's some regression. It's just like wondering, why does this config ID change? Why? Yeah, lots of stuff built, like previous video, right? Our 25-year, 3 years live on YouTube attempt to maintain a Linux distribution for 25 plus architectures, generic. Wait, somehow this should have been minimal. I'm a little bit perplexed. Why is this changed and how? As always, you want to go live. I thought I only changed one tempfs thing. Microblaze generic. Is it just this package temp? Oh, maybe strange stuff. Did I delete the wrong? Yeah. You see, there is some regressions, there are some build errors, some of which are annoying, which is of course attributed to even the internet is not on our side. To us being one of the very few people who builds even this freaking CPU architectures, no surprise there. But yeah, also disappointing they built 3 months ago, but I would expect mostly due to GCC 12 update. They don't. Come on, copy and paste also not on my side today. Does it even? Yeah, whatever. So some of course, some are even obscure, like this one, like why does Wayland protocols only fail for Super H? So that is an assertion there, which is like, nah. We have actually quite some other architectures. I think also Microblaze, which I just rebuilt. Lowering the bitrate here. So this could be multiple things. Assertion failed. So we would not. So the problem with that stuff is, I'm not appreciating the C quality like of tools of like, yeah, just assertion. I understand software, especially toolchain, assembler, and compiler and stuff is super complex, but after 25 years regressions, I would say, wait a second, I was just in the tests. I would still say stuff should not set randomly fail, especially linker, not even the complex compiler. Is that, these are tests though. So we can do multiple things. I mean, the right thing would be to debug what even freaking goes on there, but I'm not that much into Super H. I mean, if that would be RISC-V or the PS3, we could talk about that. Also, Patreon, GoFundMe, GitHub sponsorship and stuff, right? But I would otherwise just, for example, disable stack smashing protector and position independent executables, which we might enable for most things. So this might be, it might be GCC 12 regression, it might be a now enabling SSP and Pi position independent executables in T2 by default. It could also be new Wayland protocols version and just exposing a bug that previously was there. The possibilities are usually pretty endless. Just as it dropped frames over failing Vodafone's failing DOCSIS infrastructure. Yeah, previous video. Cheers. What I do for now, the only win-win, I mean, except the win-win of fixing regressions and patching and configuring stuff. So what I usually do is I'm not patching this stuff because it would easily take hours, if not a day, or sometimes a week. Like if it's like a serious compiler thing and I'm not a daily GCC contributor, like also 20 years ago I was a little bit more into that. So maybe a first-class GCC developer, it would take a day, and then it would maybe take a week for me of debugging through all of this, getting familiar with relearning all the stuff or new stuff. So what usually I just work around that by changing the configuration to not trigger such bugs, regression and assertions. And the other win-win is disabling stuff in build time for other architectures. For example, here, if it's maybe just the tests, we could still hope that other stuff builds. We could start with disabling the tests, which usually, and that is always a pro and con thing also, because disabling tests might otherwise hide errors. So yeah, that is always, is it a win if otherwise it wastes more of our time? We will see. Here's tests. Let's disable that then and hope for the best. Given, I mean, I would usually say, I mean, we are not the maintainer of Wayland protocols and stuff and GCC and stuff. So usually, except very rare circumstances, the tests are meaningless to us, right? This stuff should work, or 90+% work. If it doesn't work in some obscure Super H, Sega Dreamcast or Hitachi, whatever embedded thing, then so be it. So it's usually still a win. I would only, and we usually don't even run tests, especially with cross-compiling. And we already build all the stuff, right? So building most of the sources already tests like all the definitions. We have some other things like GCC, which actually really need debug. For example, the GCC sanitizers. They don't build for at least some MIPS and PowerPC for not finding FC and control 64 or so, which like do what, like seriously, why, like 20 years later, why do we need to have such build errors? Meson opt. I lose overview of my own variable names. Was it opts? Also, I did actually not like works this weekend for reasons. It's actually 2 days, and you already forget where variable names. Meson. Is it opt? Oh, come on. Grab, no, not grab. What the heck? Meson opt. That's already what I thought. Maybe the name is stupid because every now and then I start to type opt again. So microblaze, that build error changed from, I think it was an exertion, and then I, before the live stream, thought I disable pi and SSP, I think. Also best without typo. And okay, that's like test whatever. And I mean, the other thing is, do we even have, no, that was 6. Why is dbus glib not building parallel? Is that a real thing? So 6 is only because recurring theme, right? I need to cluster and spread the build load here a little bit. A little bit wondering whether dbus glib could, oh wait, we didn't change that. And that is the only other win-win of recurrently finding bit-rotten code. I mean, I could, like SVN, lame or log that. Maybe we should. Was it maybe? Okay, you know whatever. Let's try to build it. Let's see what happens. Maybe it builds now. It could be a thing of the past. And such kind of things are the only win-win of like, why do I even build these combinations? Like, if something fails, then always, it's even freaking built with freaking 36 threads. Maybe that is a thing, maybe not. So, okay, microblaze. Although I changed that now to, what was a previous error? Or did I even? Wait, no, wait, was it? Oh no, this was Super H. I didn't. Okay, Super H. So microblaze. Do we have all the other errors here? So yeah, MIPS. MIPS is GCC. Also some Python fails now. Previous video right now up to like 60% faster. Like average 1.24% or so. Previous video. Some other things I already quirked, like Neos 2, but I wanted to say like Python, like now a little bit faster, but now it fails. I think we didn't hit. Although I'm not sure if we really built Python, but cross-compiled it by default. This man page is already fixed, or like workaround. It's like the bloody build makefile. Also, the makefiles suck. I mean, 2022, of course, the makefiles of the man package suck on pages. I quirked that by not running make without arguments and that building HTML because it recognizes also is everything then apparently maybe. But yeah, it's like, yeah, I looked at the makefile. I threw up obviously and was disgusted how people write makefiles, and although they were not the worst, but it's like, seriously, what the heck. It appears to hopefully install. Actually, we probably could check this was Neos too, right? I already rebuilt quite some others. Man pages. I think I mean, we could div that with my installed system, although it is way older, but just as an probably. Yeah, it's not like everything missing, so it's probably fine. But yeah, 2022, if you first make, then it tries to build HTML files, and if you just make installs, then it doesn't. It's like I have no further questions on 24 differently sucking build systems. Jeez. So this is how like real work at software companies, right? Apple, Microsoft system integration, Linux distribution, you name it. That is a real thing, unless you write. But even if you write C or C++ AI stuff, then you're whole day debugging on other such stuff. So some Python fail. I looked into some, at least S390X for our IBM mainframe customers. That was mixed endiness. Let's see what it's like complaining of floats have disagreeing endiness, whatever that. Are some warnings being treated as errors? Thank you very much. Implicit declaration of the H flags. What the heck? I neither know what even is that. I mean, fair enough, that may or may not link with missing symbol. What even is that? Like maybe we should min page that. Doesn't have min page. Not sure what that is then. And welcome everyone. That's also the thing, right? So most things build, and it's also like other distributions, right? Where it's not enough to build just AMD 64. So even other exotic stuff builds, and then like some architectures no, not building that for you. Python Spark might actually, let's switch on the 5950X and log into there. And I might have a change here that I remember, maybe the utils, no? Apparently not. I thought I remembered having some Spark change somewhere. Actually, we have some changes. Although most are irrelevant. What is this here? Was that... Actually, I think I did that already here. No? Did I? Maybe I committed it already. Let me... Yeah, committed it already. This one might be a real thing. No, this is just doesn't really matter much, honestly. But should we? Okay, that's the most important. Nothing like saving some energy. So one asks why I see building code but not write code, because it's constantly broken. I also write code when I'm not live streaming here for our commercial products. But that's what it is, right? I would even say it is more difficult, like fixing other people's code, because you don't know it and you are every 5 minutes confronted with other crazy build system regressions you never saw or believed that could happen. And theoretically, it's maybe even you could call that more interesting because you see a wide variety of issues than if I've also done this previously. I've written C++ image codec or other low-level stuff, right? Just go back to some archive videos, and we will also continue soon. Even very low code here for FPGA stuff, long live streams, hour long, and so on, or other low-level 3D acceleration code for getting the hang of that. But that's just if you, most developers, right? Most of the time, depending of course what you do, but even if you write on core algorithms where you spend a great deal of time on your own code, it's always other integration stuff, right? There's always surrounding changes, even if it's not like 380 packages of Linux distribution, but working with open source. But that is just the reality, right? Of course, if I would just do, as I mentioned some minutes ago, if you just build AMD 64, you don't see 90% of this build issues, right? For example, here, this is just Musel. So we would need to see that's maybe a header missing that accidentally builds with glibc. So that's x86, Musel. But as a question, see me write code. First of all, we soon will not only continue our low-level 3D stuff, but also microkernel. And it's up to you, right? The more you share, like, subscribe, and Patreon and GitHub sponsorship and stuff, super chat and super thanks and all the good stuff, the more we write code. So that might just miss a header. This is just that some, or does it have that there? Oh, exclusive. So that was x86-64. And again, I do this for the entertainment and hope you learned something. For 20 years, I've done that alone in my parents' basement, in my student apartment and stuff, and here my company. And it's only the last 3+ years I do this live on YouTube, right? So it's not only people don't believe me when I tell them on conferences or emailing lists and stuff, like stuff doesn't just build. So for me, everything builds. Yeah, sure, if you build x86, then well, everything is relative, but most stuff builds. And that is also not only architectures, but even imagine BSD and macOS, right? You have even more changes and regressions because macOS and BSD, well, macOS based on the BSD foundations with next step and OpenStep stuff, and Mach microkernel and BSD kernel foundation. So macOS is historically BSD based. I wonder if so you have on macOS basically the BSD changes, like BSD versus Linux evolved APIs plus Apple's macOS stuff on top of it, right? Let's hope my builds came here lucky. Let's hope that build with make opt like this does. Amazing. Do we have Perl IO here? Apparently. And then let's see if we they apparently have very few standard headers here. Thank you very much. Let's see if that is all needed to fix that. But yeah, that is how you can spend your life 9 to 5 or 24 hours a day, even freaking build. Amazing. So we could always patch that. That's probably harmless. We could alternatively, like hot fix maybe like conditionally applied only for Musel libc fcntl patch Musel probably should be supported. Hotfix fcntl. And so Perl is relatively early, so that blocked most of the Musil build, unfortunately. But now the Epyc thread ripped it through the 7950X. Which build was this? This is Super H for our Dreamcast. Similar such stuff. And I slightly wonder the spark. I mean, the spark change is trivial. Although I wonder how that built previously. I might have a uncommitted change somewhere. Why did this not build? Do we not have? It probably must be the same or not. Redefinition of flock. Why did it not? I thought it built a second ago. Why did it? That is bizarre. But that is also, you think you patched it, it built, and then the next moment. As if we have nothing else to do, we even need to fix it twice, whatever. I thought I had built this. I thought it said build. Maybe it is compiled twice. No, it has undefined reference to mem copy check. How did we manage that? That is strange. Maybe let's see how much other stuff that is. You think you have this fixed and then other strange stuff happens. Let's maybe see how much other stuff fails there for Musil. And welcome everyone. Someone asked what is Perl is used for. So the last years I didn't ship it by default because we, as you recurring subscribers know, we cross-compile everything on Epyc thread ripping latest AMD x86 stuff to cross-compile for Alpha, Itanium, RISC-V, even my quad-core unmatched RISC-V desktop is obviously not as fast to build a whole distribution in a week or two. This is why we cross-build everything, and yes, we don't run stuff in QEMU because not only we don't have QEMU full architectures like Itanium, i64 and other stuff, but it's also dock slow. And so Perl is, and this is why Perl doesn't really cross-build nicely previous videos. I didn't ship it cross-compiled for quite some time, but unfortunately some packages use it. Maybe even the Linux kernel, so that means if you installed T2 the last years and you wanted to build a Linux kernel from source, you first had to build Perl, maybe even some other stuff. It's unfortunately way too often used, like for one-liner or some 5 lines here and there for some scripting glue. So, which is why I changed to actually ship it now, or like cross-compile, hack it, and ship it somewhat, so that you at least have somewhat working Perl. They just use in the comments watching someone use Linux. Yeah, so so 1060 graphics driver is lost overview of all the model names. So is it NVIDIA probably? This is also why I personally avoided NVIDIA like the plug. I have some NVIDIA, like in some Intel Macs that we needed here in the company. I have it in the PS3, obviously. I have it even in the G5 because it was, I only needed the frame buffer. I'm not even, like basically, I didn't want to give Apple like 15 years ago more money for the expensive G5, and as you see, I don't need much graphic, which is why I have this NVIDIA graphics entry level. Maybe there was an ATI option for way more money or later or whatever, but yeah. So not, I mean, some NVIDIA here, not the most, and I usually avoided like the plug for that obvious reasons of open source support, of them showing open source, the finger. XFS procs, what's going on here? Okay, so they have a dependency, and that didn't build for Super H. This is user space RCU, recently a read copy update, I think. Did I commit this already? User space RCU. It might not be easily fixable. We can take a quick look. I marked it already. Then what we will do, so wherever that is coming from, maybe it's not a system header, but maybe it's internally, and you would need some support for that. Drop frames, of course. Oh, shit. Of course, the user space also. So yeah, maybe in like here or where something of implicit declaration U atomic ink. Yeah, okay, so they have here implementations. So that would be those supported. So basically, we even have freaking alpha. Clearly they have some generic. So maybe that is reuse stuff. Yeah, so given that support is not there, let's then, we don't obviously need XFX. Although, yeah, I find it silly that file system tools need such stuff. I think it was, oops, it was also wrong. I wanted that. Welcome to Graver. Thanks to Graver for NVIDIA tips. So I find it silly that they use such complex infrastructure in file system tools, but that's what it is. So let's just disable that too. It's not like we would need XFS on Super H. So what else do we have here? So yeah, with a little bit of, but yeah, as people say, that's what I do here all day. So PowerPC, what was that? Akara, that was a strange thing that might also have happened for more than one architecture. What even was? So we have a couple of annoying, time-consuming and annoying build, actually Arc. Okay, Arc we can also then continue. I mean, something you see, like if your user space RCU library doesn't support some architectures, then obviously you have the same failure for both. I copied that already. So yeah, No, I lost all my terminals here. We have some pretty time consuming, oops. Some here will be quite, so yeah, ARM we had another day, why is alpha? So this might also be FCNTL or something, which is annoying. I think I mean, maybe, like worst case, we can always resolve to previous versions. And I might actually improve support for T2 for other versions. I was thinking about this, because what we currently do is that some architectures, because like vintage and retro architectures, or otherwise embedded stuff like Microblaze, don't have modern support for some things. So instead of always custom overlaying versions in architectures, what we can do, I thought for the future, make my life easier and support other alternative known good, useful versions of strace or maybe even XFS procs. So for what we actually could do is, or even use an older version of XFS procs for architectures without user space RCU, for example. But we have other stuff, like where other stuff is more important, like Mesa, or Firefox, instead of, because what it changes would be that if we want to support Firefox, like an older version, like an older extended long-term support version, that did not yet require Rust. So basically from, I don't know, 2 years ago stuff, which is still relatively recent, but the best we could then use for platforms where we don't have Rust. Instead of having the same overlay like 5 times on all the architectures that don't support Rust currently, have one of these versions within the package. So my idea would be then for those who use T2. And also how you evolve your software system, whether it's commercial software or this open source Linux distribution. So my idea would be, here we have our package, and like if let's say the last version there would be 82 or whatever, or 92, have that in here, and like have other alternative older cherry-picked version. Not all, because it would obviously lead to quite some code bloat, but packages, like a handful of packages where that is useful for vintage and retro and other interesting architectures. Okay, we have put some stuff building. We probably can clean that. We can also probably Wayland protocols. What was it? Super H. Don't build Wayland protocol tests, saves time and trigger bin utilities version of Super H. So there goes that. I mean, we are nearly there. The only thing is I might want to rebuild everything once more, because Data did some updates, and there's a new Linux kernel and Firefox version. Firefox not that sensitive, but Linux kernel, they write as so often all users must update, so yeah, probably better not to spend. Now with this nearly 50% faster AMD Ryzen 7950X over 1550X, it's like even on one system building all this stuff in less than 24 hours or so, I guess. So it's probably worth it to have a completely clean build. So the Graver got an Intel A380, and how is that going? Do you only run Linux, or do you also run Windows, and what are your findings? I think another T2 developer also ordered that. I wonder if they got it already. Questions: how did I got into building this? It was 25 years ago when certainly 25 years ago, all the state of Linux stuff sucked even more than it does today. And Debian was not very nice to install and use in 1996. And I wanted to create my own already, like operating system or Linux distribution, and I accidentally found Rock Linux, right? So basically, it was, I got into this early, but when the open source space was not as established and developed as it is today. But I think it doesn't matter much. It's maybe even, or certainly easier today, because today internet is faster and everything is even more documented. So I think today it's like, back in the day I actually brought SUSE FTP CDs because it was cheaper to spend 25 Deutschmark or whatever in 1998 for like 4 CDs or whatever that was, 4 or 6 CDs for FTP mirrors on CD, than to download everything over a V90 modem, right? And then I copy and pasted all the freaking tables from the bloody SUSE FTP mirror CDs for building with Rock Linux. It was faster and cheaper, as crazy as it is. So nowadays, of course, nowadays it's way easier, right? If you want to work on something, contribute on something, just git clone it and work on it. And basically, I always recommend work on stuff that you're interested, right? That you're interested in. It makes no sense to work on random stuff or for other people, especially if you're not paid for that. Always, and it also keeps you motivated, right? If you want to improve some audio stuff, some video stuff, some 3D stuff, or write some 3D gamer stuff, it always keeps you more motivated when you're interested in this stuff and you do it what you like, than if you force yourself to do something just because you are after money or whatever. I mean, although money can also motivate, but I found the best motivation is always doing stuff that you're interested in or need yourself. So the graph says Linux drivers are garbage. That is, sorry to hear that. From the Intel and some news sites, it always sounds like the drivers are amazing and stuff. Hackport latest drivers submitted Linux 6 still. Sorry to hear that, but yeah, thanks for the data point nonetheless. I hope you have an amazing solution sooner than later. So did I LS that already here, like here? So what else did we? So Spark might be an easy thing. What's with this long arch? I thought I built this freaking long arch. Not sure how that fails now. Well, it is possible. Okay, it doesn't find CT1 stuff. Yeah, whatever, maybe look into what is with even ARM64 Pixman fails now. Why? A64 Neon test does not exist? Are you effing kidding me? What are you even freaking doing there? So it's like you can't make this stuff up. Shit fails because it. This is ridiculous. Yeah, when you think you have seen all, then crazy stuff happens. Pixman. Yeah, and that is my criticism, right? That constantly stuff is upstream broken and not. Oh wait, no. Oh, this was. Wait, what did I build now? Oh, this was maybe another invalid. No, it's this is using the wrong. And maybe I switched to the wrong. Ah, here, probably too many terminals. Okay, so Musel has more stuff going, not good. So it might be only Perl and Python, the usual suspect of not having amazing cross-compile support. Let's see if everything else builds though, and then fix the rest. What do we have? Where is even my... Oh, here. So, Pixman. Let's see if this file even exists. Also, with Pixman always... Was it the real version? Oops, wrong one. because I also lost over which even, because there is like an older version and no, that is apparently, so apparently we updated that, so maybe that is the latest freaking version, maybe even data updated that, so that looks to be a new regression on the first glance anyway, maybe even data, of course data freaking updated that. So like yeah, 2022 you updated the major bitmap manipulation, like bitmap pixel manipulation open source flagship library, and it doesn't build for ARM64 anymore. Maybe and yeah, and it's not a thing like if it would be once a year, but it's like every day some shit breaks. T-shirt, right? The only constant is change and regressions. There in our store. And that is why it's like, yeah, I spend way too much time, obviously, and maybe I shouldn't. Leave in the comments below. Maybe I should stop maintaining Linux distribution. So yeah, that file is not there, so it looks to me they have here some freaking file that tests that. Here is A64 Neon. Does this error also have... So how does it fail? I mean, I wonder if we can touch the bloody file and like get away with it. So it's even crazy that this bloody test errors out if the bloody file doesn't exist. That is like truly ridiculous. Let's see if we are lucky and an empty file assembles. Why does this not... Oh, maybe... Oh, come on. Probably should. Actually, I probably should have tested. I should have also renamed it, named it differently. But let's see if that freaking builds. If we're lucky. But it's like, yeah, 2022, 24 freaking build systems actually did something interesting. Did it pick up Neon? Let's see what it does here. 60 Neon. I think it built with freaking Neon. At least it compiled that there. Does it? Freaking yes. Use AR, yeah. Empty file is good enough to. It's like you can't make this shit up, right? And open source people also like it's so much better. 1,000 eyes and everyone contributes. Like, where are all the contributions? I see myself sitting here for 25 freaking years and fighting regressions and build errors against windmills here. Which sure, I made progress. I now support 26 freaking architectures, which is obviously why so much random shit breaks in random shit ways. But it shouldn't be like that, right? And this is not vintage and abandonware. It's not DEC Alpha, it's not Intel Itanium, it's not Hewlett-Packard Precision Architecture, it's not, it's latest and greatest ARM64 stuff, right? Let's just rename this a little bit nicer. Let's name this hotfix. It can't even, should be, I mean, let's ARM64, A64 a little bit. We could also name this ARM64, but like that it doesn't really matter much, and like that we noticed earlier when it doesn't apply anymore. Yeah, empty file, it's like test file missing. It's like, how can people, I understand that mistakes happen. Even I make typos, even I sometimes commit stuff wrong, especially with this quick YouTube hacking here of talking, entertaining, and quickly committing something, and then sometimes, I mean, not only do I sometimes commit stuff that I didn't test right or not test at all, and then breaks because I didn't test that, but also sometimes I commit stuff, I edit something and then I commit something, and I overlook in the hectic of and rush of the YouTube videos, I overlook that there is another or even two unrelated changes that I did earlier. So sometimes I accidentally commit too much stuff. That also happens like once a week or stuff. But like releasing that, sure, you can git pull that and merge request that, but that nobody freaking notices that until the release. I wonder, is there even apparently not a hotfix, right? And it's like there for 12 or so days. It's like not a hotfix already. It's like, yeah. You would think that at least there's a new .1 version already because broken, but Pixman. But yeah, maybe I said in a previous video, I said maybe I should embrace it more. Maybe I should. I mean, I already calmed down. It's like yeah, YOLO, chill. Guru meditate here of like whatever. I should embrace it more. Like, cool. Stuff is broken for all the other solutions. We are here 24/7 fixing this stuff. We are the Linux solution where all the edge cases and latest and greatest stuff, like shipping the latest and greatest stuff for all the architectures. And now with Epyc thread ripping performance, we can build that like all of that in 24 freaking hours. And if not, then we start another previous gen 950 Ryzen variant and compile more. Sorry. Oh, autumn is coming. Hotfix 164 neon. Oh, whatever. Yeah, that's enough. I could polish that of having like an empty file, but who cares? Some too new. Yeah. So that is there. So yeah, and of course, like if one major package is broken, then already lots of the build stalled. Not sure what's open. This is also built previously, right? How long did we live? Probably approaching 1 hour or over source hour. All right, so that probably is open risk. Did I already? Probably I did not commit alpha. What have I? Why do I have here SSP1? Should this not be SSP0? Did I? What have I done here? Did we? S-trace. I'm not sure why I have alpha there like that. So freaking drop frames, it's disgusting. I think I meant 0 here, but now or did I manually change that? Let's check if I manually changed that. I manually changed that, so I copy and pasted that wrong. So the other, this was open risk. Microplace LTO maybe, so an OP, so open risk. If you want to sort this, open risk. Yeah. That was not, so that would be open risk. Do we have that twice? Which build config is that? So maybe some here are my own. I guess it's this one, most likely. So I guess that's not supported, most likely. Let's see if that might fix that. So some are new configurations because we default to more security mitigations now. But that of course needs to be documented and found. Let's maybe, so yeah, and I still have more major Guru meditation to do. So strace needs to be fixed for at least alpha. There's still some Python and Perl stuff. What was that here? Okay, that is the same here for whatever reason. Maybe this is even what I previously looked up. Then I believe IBM mainframe stuff was different. Yeah, that is doubles and NCF incompatible endiness. That is a little bit, yeah. Not sure if either we what? Shit config. I meant that here. So what is the endiness of that S390X Did we encode that wrong? Oh, I think it was Linux on IBM set runs on the S390X architecture. Unlike x86, the S390X architecture is big endian. Maybe that is wrong. Maybe we want to, I mean, let's see if that fixes Python. Like, yeah, only live on this channel fixing your IBM mainframe endiness. So maybe lots of code only built by pure chance and accident and may or may not have worked. But yeah, that is dedication, and similar to the only constant is change and regression, the only constant is actually dedication and attention for detail. And step by step, one by one, fixing all this stuff. And then Epyc thread ripping, compiling through the stuff every other day. Probably need to discuss marketing deals with AMD here for shorting out x86 performance. So var ADM logs. What else do we have? Where is even our, is that our mainframe? No, that's ARM64. Okay, that fixed actually, oops, so oopsie, yeah. But yeah, the more you build, the more that is attention for detail, right? Which other distributions support S390X mainframe stuff, and actually make sure that all the stuff actually freaking works, TM. Actually, I wonder then which, we also have the S390, probably the same. Let's double check that, wouldn't be surprised if it's the same endiness. Big N. So yeah, we copied it wrong from whatever. So, one commit a day. Yeah, so Epyc thread ripping through all those build errors. That's just how we love it. And the next thing, some microblaze. That one was strange. That previously was assertion, maybe. And now that I changed, this is now job server, so that is a little bit strange. No, not really sure what's going on here, because it says no such file directory. Not really sure what happens there. This is also what I don't appreciate, right? But this don't necessarily. I mean, sure, the glibc build stuff is a little bit it builds breaks relatively early. So yeah, this is obviously not clear. So yeah, that is a little bit for showstopper. Not really. So yeah, that here is also like binutils regression, LD or assembly. That is the crazy stuff, right? Like I said in the beginning of this live stream, you would think after 25, if not 30, 35 years of free software foundation, binutils, stuff would be so stable, especially on not latest and greatest, but long established architectures like PowerPC or even the latest IBM flagship of 64-bit little endian of IBM coming to their senses, PowerPC stuff. And the crazy stuff is here, this is somehow LTO related. I knew that already, I played around with that already some days ago. So this goes away if we build with at least O2 or so. So that is like, I still need to think about this. Unless... So yeah, we could hot fix that of like simply optimizing more LVM more for like just this for PowerPC 64. Yeah, I don't Google that now. Let's go open. What does that have now? Might be some UC libc fn. Yeah, you know what? It's not the most important. I could even, as a compromise and like not wasting all my time on random nonsense, simply disable perl for UC libc architectures, because there's only so much I debug. It might be configuration marginality. Might even be relatively easy to work and fix. Also, yeah, Firefox fails for x32. I saw that already. Yeah, so many. And that is why we have an increasingly expanding build cluster. x86, so that was this one here, and this failed in AVX5, I think AVX. And probably the best thing here would be to yeah, this is so annoying. Like at 2022 people can't even conditionalize their probably I should check if there is some conditional code that we can reuse to disable that. or patch it away, or nah. What else do we, so yeah, that, I think, yeah, so this AVR stuff that always was a little bit, nah. Why is there, I think I simply built the, I touched that already, but didn't build the right target probably. Yeah, this GDB, this was never mainline, whatever, let's see if the rest of AVR, so yeah, this is how we already built quite some stuff. Probably we should debug Cairo here for real, and so Spark should be a relatively easy config thing. That is, MIPS is, okay, this is some Python. What is this Python nonsense? Here's some Epyc nonsense going on. No, not the most interested, to be honest. The other was sanitizer of FCNTR64. Was it MIPSL? Yes, MIPSL. Next, like for probably next year resolution coming in 2 months, probably should stack like all the test systems, like build like a power auto USB power switchable bootable stuff, and stack all the stuff from MIPSL of this Creator Imagination CI2 or Creator something board, all the other, and like have a test build, like test boot, and being able like one like custom command, ether wake or USB switch power cycle, and then secure shell into that system and like test stuff and so on. Yeah, CMake, what was that? Theoretically I should fix that. What's going on here? GNU libc names. Ah shit, that is an user libc thing that will probably fail for all. It's like, yeah, 2022. Or maybe they have alternative implementations that we need to properly wire up for configure. Okay, no, so user libc fails. Thank you very much. Oh, this is text. Okay, that is an easy thing. That is, we just can't. Doesn't have stack smashing protector. Maybe we should also not pirate that. And let's save that for. That probably should take care of that. And that's like one. How many? Yeah, you can have too many tmux terminals. Let's do the PowerPC. Let's one last look. And then PowerPC Cairo. What is going on with IA64? Why is the sort of built previously? That is also a strange thing. Allocation truncated to fit in. Maybe we should not pi that, or the crazy stuff is also that IA64 built previously, so we have already. Let's maybe not both of that and hope that fixes something. Oops. Otherwise, I mean, in my opinion, it should like never fail like that. Of relocations like too large to fit in there. And sometimes it goes away if you change optimization for size versus speed and stuff, OS versus O2 and so. Okay, this is, so which is that? That is OpenRisk. And I guess then also just Fender. And the same for XFS procs as you have seen 20 minutes ago. So it's still not that argument or fast. Okay, so that GCC is too old. It's not a big thing. Let's just. This is basically all these options GCC too old. It's a very old GCC thing. Just smarter that. Also, the speed would be, the compile speed would be faster. I'm currently building on an older USB 3 attached Samsung T2 SSD, T2 also, upgraded already previous video. And oh wait, why is this fast? Is it AVR? Why is this fast and not smarter? Not sure what I have done there. Whatever I've done there, probably should work in. I hate when I have fat fingers and stuff here. Oh, that's not with it. We are still not in the option fast. Ah, maybe this wasn't even our stuff. Maybe it is actually freaking. Don't tell me it is. So the. Is that really like? Oh, maybe I edited. Don't tell me I edited the wrong file. Ah, I edited the wrong file. Otherwise, I thought there are makes file stuff is forcing that. I wonder if there will be one day where our decade-old AVR32 toolchain is too old to build set standard, but apparently that day has not yet come. So that is that. So yeah, then we are mostly back on track. It's a little bit last day of this month to release. So yeah, actually all my Tmax is already used on it. Yeah, despite all my daily efforts, probably slipping this 20 to 10 release target thing. Let's do one last thing and then call it an open source day for today. PowerPC to think, or actually when we continue building it should probably. I need to rebuild that because obviously I cleaned the source in the meantime. Actually, is it a new version 1.16? Right, that is even the wrong version, but doesn't probably matter too much. So Cairo wants what? Oh, 116. No, it's actually freaking old because why should they have a new release? The Cairo mutex, this must be somehow wrong for PowerPC. Which line was it now? Maybe some build error or warning is causing this to misconfigure. Like 262 or stuff. So that is somehow that here. Okay, so this is else pthread BOS pthread. So apparently it doesn't find pthread, I guess. How did we configure? Feature could be enabled, no count link with pthread. What do they have here? Only configure. Wait, I think this was wrong. Oh no, it was right. Test has a load segment with RVX permissions. Maybe this warning is triggering that. So this is, I think this is a new bin utils warning. It is possible that, oh wait, but this is checking for Kairos. The result is 0 or not, so that is only a warning. What is here? This looks positive. Oh, wait, the result is yes, so why? Yes. Requires dynamic linker and setlib and a real pthread Kairos trace feature. But why does it say here it says pthread no, can't link with pthread, and here whether Kairos pthread feature could be enabled. Oh wait, there it says no. Why does it say no here if the log said, did the log not say no error? Wait, why is here not an output or is this warning stuff? Maybe this warning stuff is altering that after all. I mean, maybe it captures the freaking warning stuff here? Because here it clearly says execute 0. You can't mix this nonsense up. Yeah, 2022, welcome to the amazing state of open source build systems. Illegal address. What? Or maybe I... maybe we should build with enable pthreads and it would error out. Welcome to Graver. Welcome back. So it must somehow... But this doesn't fail, right? Kairos pthread feature. Can only imagine this bloody warning here. I wonder if we either conf test has a load. Can we build that somehow differently? No warn that. Okay, I mean, this warning is usually a good thing, and usually, I mean, the problem is it's too time consuming to read the bloody source. It's of course possible, but yeah. Come on. No, so... I mean, theoretically... I guess compile... or that, probably. Let's see what happens. Yeah, that's the frustrating thing, right? Even a useful warning and then configure other build scripts looking at you, Meson and Ninja and CMake are written in such a way that the build breaks. It's possible that at least another, I think I previously saw that for Itanium before glibc failed, maybe in similar or unrelated ways. Also there's something TCP wrappers of pretty new TCP wrappers version. Not sure if that will just build. What do we have here? Firefox? Ah, right, we didn't download it apparently. Usually it should be automatic. Maybe it downloaded in parallel, that is possible. What do we feel? Maybe, okay, let's skip this Perl nonsense here for now too. Maybe I actually will disable that in some way for embedded targets. We will see how easy that is to fix. Wait, did not Notec say yesterday that... that is how that failed. That is silly. Yeah, no, we don't have Firefox download, whatever. Anyway, we have other builds that probably build for ARM. Yeah, just a couple of tiny builds. Where's our Itanium? Did we... Okay, hey, this warning, this bloody warning. It's like, probably they captured all... So yeah, pro tip, don't capture all the compiler output. You might never know what random warnings you might get for some systems. Or like a year later, right? You write code, C code writes a glorified portable assembler macro preprocessor. They totally got that. Not. And especially like, and that is a recurring thing, right? Not some hobby weekend project like Cairo, one of the kind of sort of leading packages. I also wonder if there might have been a new version. I think I looked that up another day. And was there not a 17? Which I wasn't sure if it was stable. Maybe we should check what other like are. Actually, I probably still have that around here somewhere. What is ArcP? Does it not download? Did we get that? Do we get that? No. No. Yeah, for Firefox, what should I say? Experts of web stuff. Yeah, I need to better. Maybe so this compiler might also be too old for C++11 for AVR. Maybe I simply somehow quirk CMake for not enable natively for uslibc builds. It's kind of pointless anyway. Not really worth spending my time on. Oh, and by the way, I'm now on Chaos Social, right? Twitter is a failing, previously not amazing and failing platform, so Chaos Social. If you want to join that, obviously, I think like that probably. Well, the first people already follow us, so probably should. Yeah, so Twitter sucked and is dead now. Long live distributed social chaos. Let's continue. So yeah, Epyc thread ripping through that build. There's still, but even that, right? It takes time, even if, and I mean, obviously it takes less time for me doing that for 25 years, and that was only the lightweight stuff. Okay, Cairo we fixed. It's probably, I see you also. I've seen that previously. What even was that about? So mipsel, need to fix that too. Undefined reference. I think I had seen that. Not really sure what was going on with that. Need to debug that another. So what else? Maybe one last thing. There's always one last and more thing. What do we had here? So yeah, this Mesa thing was super annoying, but maybe worth time exploring. Yeah, that's time consuming. Whatever. Yeah, this is also rather strange. That was sanitizer. I said this a couple of times. Let's fstat. Yeah, I think I said fcnt or whatever, but fstat. So it's probably like having hard code stuff there for something, and MIPS64, and it's probably like they might have never had that. I would need to check that. Like some of the stuff is like 64-bit on 32-bit platform stuff. So actually Spark. So we probably can. We need to fix it before we implicit declaration. Yeah. So these are all the same stuff. Well, I think we are. Yeah. I mean, we are 99% there releasing that, but like the last 1% is at times the most annoying. and time consuming and time wasting and stuff. But otherwise it looks quite good. The question is, do we also accept half bus? What is here now going on? Mipsel is relatively recent, right? So people still, I believe, use that probably for embedded. Unicode is once now. This once already. Okay, so much to touching that. So that is a dependency we just skipped. The biggest thing is how much time should I put into checking HPPA risk bash native compilation segmentation fault. So by the way, there might be a new ICU version. But that's really it then for today. 72.1. Yeah, 72.1. And that is the only win-win which we still need to improve our data with to better auto-track the stuff here. How new is that? So data should find that, of course. But, actually, we have here already MIPS, not LTO. Anyway, amazing progress as usual. I wish I wouldn't need to do that because people already ask, writing recode, right? Microkernel coming up next. I somehow also, I probably need to, so I need to improve data to better find more updates. Maybe even like John Carmack's like work of general artificial intelligence, of like training some neural network to like fix freaking things. But, and that is the thing, some AI stuff of glorified mountain of floating point values, of bfloat 16 values, generating some images or stuff. Like general artificial intelligence, I don't see AI like really fixing build errors like this anytime soon. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, sure, there was IBM Watson. There is GitHub Copilot, which mostly steals code from open source stuff like one-to-one. So that doesn't build like that though. Might look different now. Let's see if amen. Thank you very much. Oh, this is AVR32. Yeah. Much to men. This was Mipsel, we just had done that. Yeah, I have it hard to believe that an AI will like do sophisticated editing anytime soon. What's with this stuff? Did we update that? I mean, maybe it's LTO. Do we have, what do we have still on there? Open flipc of LTO was on there. Maybe that's not entirely super stable. I believe it usually built for all the other architectures LTO. But yeah, small other build quirks, marginalities and regressions. Coming later, maybe tonight we will see, because I need to release that. So yeah, that works. That's, before we forget that and need to do that again, let's document that in our build all open risk of very theoretic open risk. I mean, you know what, we could actually, you know, let's be fancy. Let's turn that back on. p2fs procs and remove that and see how many other packages actually. Work, open risk. So as usual, I hope you learned something and enjoyed this. Would be amazing if you share, like, and subscribe. Patreon or super thank or stuff. Releases coming along. As always, there's one more thing to fix and build configuration marginalities and regressions. Have a good day or night and see you soon for all the next fun code and fixing regressions to come. And way too many drop frames. Shame on Vodafone's failing doxes.